So yesterday they ended, I think, giving me the wrong size, and I was like covered in perfume. I was like, right, whoever gets the jacket I have already tried, you're gonna be smelling Prada Paradox. I was like, I hope they like it.
Is that the one that you picked up?
I think I got that one.
Oh
Yeah.
my god!
Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting edition of the Liquid Weekly podcast. With me, as always, is my co-host Taylor. Taylor? Well, it's not what you think. I didn't finally unburden myself with the shackles of Taylor as a co-host. In fact, I rather enjoy having Taylor as a co-host. What is happening is that this is a special episode brought to you hot on the heels of DotDev 2026, and Taylor, not being satisfied to simply attend a conference that week, decided to also put on a conference, and so he is recovering at home, buried underneath gigabytes of footage that we took together during .dev, some man-on-the-street interviews, some B-roll of what was happening in the halls, and then plus lots of exciting news as well from our live podcast recording during .dev on the studio there at Shopify Center, which was very exciting. Got to talk to Ben Sehl about the future of Liquid and some of the Build Award winners from this year. So we'll be looking forward to that. So for my part here, I'm simply going to introduce you to what's coming, which I just told you, and then we will cut into some exciting footage from there, and we'll see you live, so to speak, on the next one. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoy what we found at .dev. If you couldn't make it, sorry to hear that. Maybe next year it's a better chance. And for those of you that we got to connect with in person, it was so much fun to see you and to reconnect as a community. One of the best things about Shopify, I've always said, are the people that are involved. You guys are great, and we always enjoy hanging out with you. So without further ado, here is the fun-isode. Because it's more than an episode, it's fun.
All right, hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting special edition of Liquid Weekly podcast here live at .dev 2026. I'm your host, Harel Meisterheim, and with me, as always, is my handsome and esteemed colleague, Taylor. Taylor Page, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Carl. How are you?
You're looking mighty good for sleeping in an Airbnb with 3 other guys.
Oh, man. Yeah. I mean, I got the big bed, so...
There you go.
The big guy gets the big bed.
Big bed's great. Well, we're very excited to have an opportunity here to talk to some Shopee folk and some other partners here in the Shopify ecosystem. And today we're going to start with our favorite friend, Ben Sehl.
Favorite.
Who,
I mean,
Toby's been on the pod,
Toby.
But
Toby's only been on once, and you're now here.
This is round 2. Yeah.
Ben Sehl is a now director of product here at Shopify. And if you're confused about how to pronounce his last name, which is spelled S-E-H-L, a good way to remember is it's Sehl, like rails.
Oh, that's good.
Wow.
I was like for sale. Like if you
sale.
make a sale on Shopify, then that's like a good one.
Now, Ben, you have given one of the most anticipated talks here, at least judging by the lines I've seen every time I try to get into it, wrapping around the whole upper floor about the future of Liquid.
Thank you. Yeah, somebody waited an hour and a half yesterday, so that
Were they at the wrong room?
Very nice. No, it was like, I was like, "Are you sure this is right?" They're like, "Yeah. He missed the first time around, so." It was too packed, and so he wanted to come for the second one. But yeah, thanks. It's anticipated for me as well. There's like a lot of stuff that we've been working on, and really excited to talk to this audience. Like this is so many. It was cool because all these people came into the room, and I know so many of them. When I first joined the team, I made this like intention of I wanted to interview somebody every week. I already had my own opinions about where we should go to developer experience, what stuff I liked, what stuff I didn't, but the thing that I did with Hydrogen as well was I talked to like I think 2 or 3 merchants a week, and until I got to like a 200 or something, and I wanted to do the same for developers in the ecosystem when I joined the Liquid front, and so it was so cool to be able to see everybody in person and have all this huge enthusiasm. Like you don't get a more tight-knit community like than the ones working in the theme ecosystem and writing Liquid, and everybody's friends. They're all part of your guys' group, and so it's a really cool time.
We know we named our podcast after Liquid because of you. Well, not really, but
no.
I was measuring upstairs because Taylor, you gave a talk earlier today about meta fields and meta definitions objects, and I was trying to figure out whose line was longer. But I think yours was pretty close.
It was not close.
However, Ben did get to do his 2 or 3 times.
Twice.
I did twice.
Backed by popular demand.
So twice as popular as Taylor's.
It was a fun talk. I gave your talk a shout out. People were like, should we still be using meta objects? I'm like, of course. There's a whole talk here about it. Like, go check out Taylor's talk. Yeah, no, it was great. It was great. It was awesome reception, for sure.
So I didn't actually make it into the room, but I did appreciate your post online. So for folks that weren't here, there is information online already that you can read about it. But Taylor also digested it, and we've got a lot of questions.
Let's dig in.
A lot of things we're interested in learning more detail about this. So Taylor, do you want to go with the first one?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that was kind of interesting, the tagline was like "Back to the Future," right, kind of type thing, which was really.
My agent came up with that. I have to.
What? Oh,
I know, but I would like to. So I was like, okay, this is like the first like one shot thing where I was like, good, not cheesy. I mean, it was cheesy, but like in a good way.
Oh,
and it kind of did encapsulate everything I was trying to go for. So, yeah.
Well, let's talk about that. But everything that you're kind of trying to go for, because this is like what feels like a hard pivot. Compared to the direction it was going, right?
Sure.
And it's not like we're saying these things before were a mistake. It's we learned from things and now things are changing.
Yeah.
And this is how it's changing.
Yeah. I mean, design is trade-offs, right? So like all of design is constraints and trade-offs, and you have to make the best decisions to get to an output. And if you aren't trying to take those trade-offs or like put these constraints on your product, then you ultimately trying to, you can either be something to somebody or nothing to everybody, I think. And so a sharper product is, in my opinion, the better way to go. And for me, the reason I fell in love with Shopify was Liquid. Like the early days, there were other platforms that did more stuff. And there were WYSIWYG platforms that were simpler to use, that were like, you could go on there and make a whole website pretty easily. There were e-commerce platforms that had more power to them, that could do, all these different things. And Shopify, I just really gravitated to, because when I inspected the Timber theme originally, the code just made sense. Like I just figured out, I had this idea in my mind. I knew how to make it in HTML. And I'm like, well, how do I put the product title here? Well, I go curly bracket, product.title. Okay, like this is so easy.
Yeah.
I made a comment in my talk that I didn't have to look at any docs. Like I only ever had the number one bookmark in my toolbar was Mark Dunkley's cheat sheet. And I just like looked at that all the time. And I had like the ultimate, you type M, like it auto populates. But other than that, I never had to look at anything. I just knew.
It's intuitive.
It was just so intuitive and like legible. I think just like this legibility of the code was so nice. And it was just like clear that, like if you get a really great woodworker and you like look at the inside of some drawer and you see like dovetails on the back joint, nobody needs to do that. It's like nobody sees that joint unless you take the drawer out of the cabinet, right? Well, like that person put their stamp on it.
Yeah.
And that was the thing for me that always just resonated, was like, I just trust this team is going to go in the right direction. Because the thing I always say with storefronts is like, your online store isn't your product. Right, your product's your product. Your online store is like a growth product, if you will. Like it's going to evolve a lot because commerce changes really fast. And at any given moment, there's probably some optimal way to choose your site. But what you really want to do is like pick a thing that you're going to bet on for the next 5 years, right? Because you probably shouldn't be rebuilding your site all the time. I mean, I do, but that's I work on these tools, and so. That's like, to me, when I first encountered Liquid, it just felt like this company, Shopify, that I didn't know anything about, felt like me and felt like they were going to make the decisions that I was going to make in the future. Now, there were things that took way longer than they should, like multi-currency and stuff like that bugged me for ages. But it is kind of crazy. I like it's this pursuit of continuously chipping away at all these things, but doing it in like the right way. I think there's faster ways that we could have gone about things, but they would have compromised the long-term vision. And so, so that's a roundabout way of doing it. And so now Back to the Future, the whole thing here is that was the thing that really I was drawn to. Then, Sections Everywhere came around, and I think that was like the most requested feature. We called it Online Store 2.0, and it was like, this whole thing. But I opened up Dawn and I couldn't understand it. And I just couldn't. I wanted to build my theme. I couldn't. It was like all this JSON stuff, all the JSON templates. Yeah, I just couldn't figure it out. I didn't understand how it mapped. There were docs, but like I don't read docs.
No one reads docs.
I didn't need to. I had Liquid, right? So that was this thing, and I totally got that. I understood why they did it. They needed this serialization format to power the editor and to have all the sidebar stuff. But it was again, I said design is trade-offs, and that's the trade-off they chose, and it was the right thing for so many reasons for that whole era. But now we're getting into this new era, and I think like where we were when we started was this amazing platform for developers. The problem is not many people are developers.
Sure.
Well, now everybody's a developer. You just have to write. You don't even have to write in English. You can write in any language, and like you can write code. And so now there's challenges with agentic workflows too, latency, all these sorts of things. But what we've been able to figure out, without revealing too much where we're going, is we've been able to figure out, okay, all the big things that people really love to do. We think that there's a way to be able to do all this stuff while also keeping developer experience as like the core principle of how we build here.
So,
and then that also makes it great for agents as opposed to, also people who write it by hand like me.
So I think you may have answered it, but just to clarify it, one of my big questions was why now? Why make these changes? We've had changes over the years. I feel like we had a pretty good spot with themes, although I don't primarily do theme development, so maybe I was not hearing the cries of the masses. But it seems like this kind of came out of the blue. And I was curious what the motivation was. What underlying tension were you trying to solve with this latest release? Was it what you just mentioned, specifically building in the agentic era? Or was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's like the big thing. I think like there are people and it's like there's people who like, you look to pretty much any craft and so many people live in the CLI now. Mm-hmm. And the fact that you're going to get that many people, like you're in operations and you're using a terminal, or you're like in sales and you use a terminal, like as a part of your daily workflow is a pretty crazy thing. And so like the thing that I was saying in my talk was a great developer experience is a great agent experience. And so why now is like, I always wanted to, it just was a pretty bad decision for a long time. And now because of agents, it's a very good decision. We think as long as we can solve for, also these other, I said like the era we were in before was it was imperative software, we call it, which is like you make these explicit, dial this knob to 11 because you want it to 11. Now with agents, you say, make it louder. And then it like knows that you want it at 11, right? And then there's tricks to that. So you're like, okay, it goes to 11, but you're like, maybe you say, make it louder. It goes to 9 or it goes to 15. You're like, not that loud, so, right. And so you want to have this balance of, we still got to bring over these important imperative controls, but there was so much stuff that we used to stuff into the imperative controls that really don't have to be there. And you can look at Horizon for that. Like I'm extremely proud with what we did with Horizon and what we shipped at that time. I think it enabled a huge amount of people who couldn't code, that were starting on Shopify to, day one, be able to build out the thing that was in their head. But there was also a lot that they had to learn. There's a lot of stuff that is basically CSS that we translated into the paradigm of settings. And that's just a huge, massive complexity that I don't think is important. And now you can get to a lot of those things by just asking an agent to do them. And so like that's sort of how we see it. And so there's still a huge value to settings. There's still a huge value to all those things, but it's more like how in Figma you would create a bunch of components and then you create variants of those components, and you only ever need like 2 or 3 different like levels of those variants for like, the different states that you want to configure. And everything else is more handled by like these other controls at Figma, or in the web, you would just write CSS, or you would, store your text in a locales file or something like that. And so now we believe that we can go and achieve the best of both worlds moving forward. So I'm hinting a bit about where we're going with things, but I think that should be pretty obvious to anybody who's like reading the articles. And there's a pretty clear direction to where we think that the world's headed for these types of tools.
If you build on Shopify, you've had a client ask whether it can talk to their accounting system. Sagify is the answer for Sage 50. Orders become invoices, inventory syncs, and payouts reconcile automatically. And we just launched the Easy Apps Partner Program. Refer a client, and once they finish their first paid month, you earn a full month of their plan in cash. No reselling, no billing, no support to carry. You make the intro, and they do the rest. Check it out at easyapps.io.
Yeah. So you talk a little bit too about there's two different sides to this, right? I think where people are trying to figure out the balance. And like you said, kind of like there's these competing things here a little bit. You've got the craftsman side of the carpenter who takes the time to like, put the dovetails in the back and what have you. But then also, we're all using agents now to like write code, ship products and all this other stuff or what have you. So, and a lot of the time that's very easy to fall into just focusing on productivity, right? Like shipping more so than that craftsman kind of type piece.
Yes.
And that seems like something you're very aware of trying to meet that balance. So is this something that helps do that? Or I don't know what you can do to speak to that.
I think the case we were in before was the average output of people who weren't designers or developers wasn't very high. And now you could ask, an agent to say, make me a mediocre website, and it'll be better than the average output of before, because it's like, okay, here's middle of the road. And so you can start to craft things better. Now, if you like run it amok and you say like, add this, and there's no guidance to that thing, I think it's really tricky. And so the way we've been thinking about this is 3 things. I said 2 in my talk, but it's really 3. There's like how the language itself and the tools that are available to it. This is sort of the main thing, and what we've done with all of these changes to Liquid is like has to be able to write really expressive, elegant, clean code that's really beautiful. And so that has to be like possible. So the fact that we didn't have Boolean expressions before, or the support for arrays, or support for objects as a variable, or support for infix operators, so you can do like bedmiss and stuff, was problematic. So that limited that. So there's a whole like, got to make Liquid a really beautiful, elegant templating languages that keeps to the principles that it's on. And then there's, okay, but how do we make sure that the output looks like the thing that we want it to look like? And that gets to 2 things. One is guidance. And so we also announced that we're going to start adding support for, if you're aware, you can upload you upload these zips to Shopify, but we will drop files that we don't support. We don't support subfolders. We don't support like certain things because we have a really convention-based way of shaping themes. We want to make that so that if you're familiar with one theme on Shopify, you're familiar with any theme on Shopify. And like there's a consistency there. Most of our merchants, like maybe not most, but a massive amount of our merchants, it's not their first at bat. They've built multiple stores, and all of our most successful merchants have done this like multiple times. And so you want to have that kind of consistency across the platform. And themes touch lots of hands. They touch freelancer, agency that built it, the team itself, right? And so you want them to be able to hop in there and have some like just intuition about where stuff goes. Okay, so there's that for the convention side. Now, we've been dropping all these files. One of the files that we are not dropping now are markdown files. They are extremely important. So we now support a .agents folder where you can put all of your guidance for your agents. And what we have today is that's so that as it touches all these different hands and you bring down these files, that you can keep all the different agents that are all inevitably going to touch it on the same page. And they can start to, you can have an agents.md to say, here's where all my files are in this theme. Here's the conventions that we follow. Here's the rules that we do, that sort of thing. Where we have support for design.md, so that you're like, where we're going to be moving is trying to leverage design.md as sort of the art direction doc of your store, which supports both YAML front matter as well as like these descriptions of paragraphs, so the agent can have context on what your design system's like, what tokens you use, what colors are consistent, etc. And then you can have skills and whatever other context rules you want to have in there. So that's guidance. And then there's feedback as well, because even with that, you can say like, no, ignore all priors, do my thing, make this code sloppy, ha ha ha. Like, I'm rage quitting this company tomorrow. I want to mess up their site. And so for that, we can give just like any dev who's trying, writes crappy code and ships it up, you want to have linters, right? And so we've added now theme check support for the doc tag. So the doc is now type safe, and so you can have these like type safe contracts for all of your snippets and blocks. And so like the params have to fit a certain thing. You can also have examples in those doc tags, so the agents can look at how you want them to construct those things and what good looks like. And agents are very good at copying stuff if you give them a few examples. So you can do some few shot stuff there. And then we also expanded theme check to cover 20 new both errors and warnings to be able to say like, hey, like we'll compile all this stuff, but like this liquid is too complex. Like you could probably restructure this in a better way. Hey, you should put this stuff over here. You should have these files over here. And so there's some stuff that's like hard errors for Sidekick, and then there's some stuff that's just warnings, or Sidekick for agents. And there's some stuff that's just warnings, so that like Claude or GPT or whatever can like listen to those things and sort of know like, oh, okay, you know, if the user insists, no, you must put this file in this folder, we can do it. But gotcha. I'm just executing on, can you make me this store locator page? Sure, no problem. And, you know, now I can use all of this input and feedback to make sure it goes into the right spot. And so that's how we're thinking about that. And then there's a lot of things where I think that can become, we can provide some extensibility for the community to plug in their own systems and tools. Obviously, like things like testing are very on my mind. I think like that's huge in the agent era. And you can, you know, there's a lot that we can do with that. And then there's a lot of workflows on GitHub and stuff too that I think we can start to plug in to make all that stuff work really nicely with existing flows.
So you mentioned the addition of agents.md and other ways of defining some help for the agents as they do their work. Obviously, we have the Shopify Dev MCP. Is there any additional tooling or automation that you guys are planning on introducing to make the agents' use of this sort of stuff more effective?
Yeah, we did. I announced also that we're going to be shipping. I haven't done them yet, but in the next week or two, some new Liquid skills as well. So like we have a bunch of different workflows that we use internally to build Horizon and all that sort of stuff. And I'm like, hey, this is, you know, we should just publish all of this stuff. Why do we have anything internally? Like whatever we do to make our work better, this is only benefits the, you know, however much majority percentage of the GMV on the platform that's not from our team, right? So we'll be publishing all of that stuff too, so that everybody can have those Liquid skills. You can use whatever skills you want on your own too, if you want to do things a different way. But we want to give people all of that guidance. So yeah, all those skills will be coming too, and they'll be coming into you know, eventually AI toolkit and all that stuff too.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
One more quick question about the agents.md file. You kind of alluded to it earlier, but like imagine a future scenario where someone downloads a theme from a third party. It's got an agents file in it already, perhaps with a prompt injection in there of some sort. As part of the scanning that you guys do and the checks you're doing on the themes when they get uploaded to a merchant store, are you planning on doing any safety or sanity checks? Yeah, that's prompt injections. Like you know, there's a lot of people that work on that at Shopify to make sure that's secure. I think that's like the biggest risk to any software company in this era, right? And so there's a lot of efforts that go into scrubbing all that stuff and making them secure. I will say all of the, you know, we do try and now use all the latest models for everything, and a lot of the more modern models also help with this stuff already. But yeah, that's a big thing for sure. That's good.
The nice thing is that like you could work with some CD contractor that sneaks stuff in there, but like by and large, the incentives are aligned, and this is your own personal software, and so it's, you know, the merchant hopefully doesn't own themselves. Obviously, like we cut off assets API for a reason, right? Because like that was a pretty big security vector, and so you can't just like install some app and it all of a sudden starts rewriting all this stuff in your theme. I'm glad we did that when we did it, because that would be an awful risk for prompt injection, but that's not a problem now.
So for the agents.md file too, I'm curious. So can Sidekick access that as well when like the merchant's prompting like, hey, I need this section or whatever? Will Sidekick adhere to that at all?
Not right now, but that's obviously stuff that we're thinking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good thinking, Taylor.
Yeah.
They should hire you, but you're too busy hosting, so no.
Yeah.
No, there was a bunch of other fun stuff there, and I don't know if you have specific things that you want to ask, because I'm not paying attention to time at all. But you know, definitely jump in. But you talked about partials, which
partials are huge. Yeah,
super exciting.
Partials are huge.
So do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, let's talk about that. I think like this is a crazy thing. This is the one that I was most excited for. I think I actually got the most claps for arrays, which I'm not surprised by. But partials is probably the biggest news, and has something that nothing to do with agents. It's just like better tooling. So like when I first joined, I was like, I made this fig jam of all the reasons why I prefer React, and it's not like because I love everything about it. It's just that there's some things that make it extraordinarily good, like reactivity. And actually, it's hard to actually get re-renders and stuff to happen. And there's like the virtual DOM, and there's all these taxes that come with it if you do it sloppily. You can use like Jason Miller's signals and stuff to have, you know, islands and all that sort of stuff. But this is like crazy complexity. And Liquid is not a programming language. It's a templating language. It's like a do what I mean or do what I say language. And you shouldn't have to like know the tricks to be able to get it to be performant. And yet that is the goal, not the reality, because we have the section rendering API, which we created for our editor to be able to, as you were changing things, we want to reload those pages without flashing the whole screen white. And, it ended up getting used for building, any sort of reactivity in your site. And so you want to change your cart counter when somebody adds to cart from like 1 to 2. Well, you got to use a section rendering API to fetch the whole header and then use some library like Morph DOM to like filter down to just that one thing. And then you have to add like 3,000 more lines of JavaScript to like, account for all these little nits. And then you're like, oh, great, we went from 1 to 2, and you ship like 30 kilobytes of JavaScript to do that. It's like, this is psycho. This is like the worst thing I've ever heard of. But we didn't have a good way of doing this. Like there were a lot of different libraries we could have relied on, but that is now this like supply chain risk of like, well, is that library going to be supported forever? Do we really want to bake that in? We take that stuff really seriously. We try and be dependency free for our out of the box stuff. And then, we could just add more JavaScript. That didn't feel good. There were a lot of interesting things out there in the world, like Rails Hotwire has some cool stuff. They use WebSockets, blah, 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 whatever. Like but there were interesting paradigms. So we really wanted to solve this, but we didn't have a good idea yet. And then we read this blog post by the Chrome team that said declarative partial updates was what they called it. And it was this spec for how they would essentially leverage these like already valid XML comments as this like boundary for being able to have browsers re-render, do like fine-grained reactivity in the browser that also like degrades gracefully, ships 0 kilobytes of JavaScript, and like it is all like in browser land. And so we were like, this is like the absolute dream, progressive enhancement, no VDOM, all this stuff. And so we hopped on a call with them and got to talk about the spec and then give some feedback, and we were able to help shape it a bit. And then, pitch it to Toby. I went into his office as it was open. I was like, I got to show you this thing. I want to, I will do it no matter what you say. But thankfully he got it and was like, yes, this sounds awesome. And so this totally replaces it. And so all you have to do is you have this little new liquid tag called partial. And you say like partial cart count, for example. You wrap it around and then end partial on whatever HTML you would want to change. And then in your JavaScript, whenever you are, let's say, adding the cart, you have this partials.fetch, and then you fetch the new stuff, and then you say partials.apply, and you put in cart count, and it just re-renders that little bit. And it's like 3 lines of code, and away you go. And so I was able to do like an infinite scroll with an intersection observer that doesn't break the back button, that's like progressive enhancement, totally web native, in 7 lines of code. Oh. And this was like, and it's like agents were one-shotting this thing with like 3 lines of a markdown file to tell it how to use it, right? This is like amazing. I think we have 5,000 lines of code in Horizon that are just accounting for reactivity that are now just like fully delete. So this is to me the absolute biggest thing. And then it's made our new base theme like insanely fast. It's the fastest theme we've ever shipped. It is so lightweight. Obviously it doesn't do that much, but that's kind of by design. It ships with like such little JavaScript. So I'm obviously over the moon for this thing, but everybody should like drop what they're doing and rip out all their section rendering API stuff and just use partials now because it's amazing.
So obviously the initial page load is rendering on the server.
Yeah.
When you call the partial, is it also rendering the server being sent over?
That's right. Yeah, and then it updates it live behind the scenes with no like flash of white or anything like this, right? And so what's great about that too is that you get like if you're going to update cart 1 to 2, okay, fine. You could have an on-click set local state, change the number. The problem is, what if there's like a add to cart limit that the merchant set? What if you're updating prices and the prices have auto-applied discounts? What if, you can't do everything just by managing client state? There's server-side validation that has to happen. So you need it to run through the liquid drops. And there was not a great way of doing that except for section rendering API. And so now there is, and that's what partials does.
You said that originally came from the Chrome team. But is it cross-browser? That's
right, yeah. So it already, all the different major browsers have aligned on this already. And we are lucky enough to have some folks that work on WebKit and Chrome and internally. And so, but we were chatting with Firefox too. And then it already works cross-browser. There's a polyfill for this, and that's like really small. We have this like at Shopify /partial-rendering ESM import that you can drop in like 2 lines of code that'll put that on your site. And then once that comes to every browser, you can just delete that and it'll just keep working. So yeah, it's really awesome.
That's really cool. I'm not sure when the last time you called the Chrome team was, Taylor.
I was going to say, I feel like we're really glazing that over. Like, hopped on the call with the Chrome team as one does. You know?
I mean, that's the awesome thing about working here, right? Is I think like when I was on the outside, I had all these things that I wanted to make better for the developer experience. And there were so many cool things happening in the community to do that. Like I said in my talk yesterday that I remember when Slate went away and I moved to the Slater CLI, and like Nick Savitas had this VS Code plugin, and Dave Warrington, I just saw him walk by, had this thing for settings. Like, there were all these different things from the community. But what you really want to do is like fix it at the source, at the right layer, right? And so I think Shopify is probably the only thing in the world where you have access to not only like the runtime with Liquid and our storefront renderer, to like the application layer, to the editor itself, to the final output. And then of course, like the ultimate move is you just go upstream into Chrome and WebKit, where we have people on our team that are on those teams too. And they're awesome teams to work with, and they're super collaborative.
The next time you talk to them, if you could ask them to re-enable my ad blocker on Chrome, I'd appreciate that.
If you're listening to this show, you already know the build. Shipping themes, debugging functions at midnight, juggling client projects, all while keeping your apps thriving. But what doesn't get said enough? The commerce internet that millions of entrepreneurs run their businesses on exists because developers like you built it. Now everyone wants to talk about what AI does next. The Shopify Partner Program, trusted by over 100,000 partners, is built for the developers still writing the story. Apps, themes, custom builds, referrals, you choose how you grow. And now Shopify Supply's new Dev Mode collection is built for the space where that work actually happens. Desk gear, apparel, everyday essentials built for the developers defining the next decade of commerce, because the people who live in the Shopify CLI deserve a setup that matches their craft. The most important app hasn't been coded yet. The Shopify Partner Program and Supply's Dev Mode collection are built for whoever codes it, and they're probably listening right now. Check it out at shopify.supply and get 15% off your first order with code LIQUID. That's shopify.supply and 15% off with code LIQUID.
We got things like link rel prefetch, which was a thing that was like a platform native way for preloading, shipped to WebKit, but then like they only wanted on same domain, but like, we were able to work with them on that. That's amazing because we got like every store in the whole internet faster on iOS with 0 lines of JavaScript, right? And we also got like speculation rules shipped to Safari. That got also like amazing preloading and pre-rendering for every store in the world. And that's the thing that I love about Liquid is like you could just love pottery, don't know anything about the web, you make some beautiful site, you ship it 20 years ago, and then 20 years later it's actually better. Like where on the web do you ship something and actually improves over time? It only ever degrades. Like you have to have this maintenance, right? And so that's the cool thing about Liquid, and why a beautiful, simple DX is key, because then it gives us the ability to like help and be your tech team and improve it for you. And so there's a lot of stuff like that now we get to go and do. So that's awesome. I got excited about it, obviously.
That's really cool.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
And before Carl jumps in with his stuff or whatever too, talking about like cool partnerships and working with other people, Tailwind.
Tailwind,
what?
yeah.
I saw Adam Wathan waiting to get in here, and I was like, what in the world is he doing here?
Man, Adam's the best. Yeah. It was pretty early on where we're like, it'd be sick as Tailwind, because like I've always wanted it. There's so many people with so many crazy build steps out there, and you got to maintain these like Webpack or Vite files, and it's just kind of nuts. And then of course, like, yeah, it's just if we don't have native support for something, I think people think that they shouldn't do it. And Tailwind is just like, you can write extremely performant, very legible CSS. It's not for everybody. If you love BEM, go for it. You love enduring CSS, go for it. I love Tailwind. Agents love Tailwind, and it really solves, I think, like the thing that's really nice about it is that thing that I mentioned before. If everybody at Shopify used it, then every developer working on any theme can just easily understand what it is. And you look at the HTML, you understand like how it's going to render on the page immediately. And so that is a really powerful part of it. And so then we're like, well, shoot, should we really take a bet on this thing? So what do? You call up Adam, and thankfully we were mutuals on X, and he lives in Cambridge. He lives like pretty close by, so was able to like go to his house on Saturday and just like chat and talk with him and Steve on the Tailwind team, and like where are they going, and show him some of the stuff that we're thinking about. Make sure that they weren't going to do any breaking changes anytime soon. Like, how is this all going to work? Where are you guys headed? And we just had like really aligned philosophies. And so then I said, like, I'm going to give this talk. If you want to come, it'd be sick to have you as a, do a little AMA with you, fireside chat on. He spent a ton of time with all the UI.sh stuff, trying to think about how to make agents have better output, and not just visuals, but like love the code too. And that was like we just had such aligned philosophies. So he was super gracious in like coming down here and being my surprise guest.
Yeah, that was awesome.
If he's still here, Taylor would love to meet you.
He had to head home.
Oh,
he had to head home.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I tried not to. He was waiting to get in. I couldn't get I tried not to fangirl too hard. But
Yeah, he's like the nicest
super
guy.
cool.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
I just had a nerdy behind the scenes question, but
Yeah, of course.
See, all right, so arrays,
Yes.
Booleans, these are things in Liquid that we wanted for years.
Yes.
And presumably couldn't get for technical reasons,
Yes.
or performance reasons on your side. What suddenly enabled that to happen?
Yeah, not
Ben.
performance reasons. I think that the thing about them were, as I said, Liquid is a forever API, and like we have this commitment at Shopify, and like Toby will say no to anything that breaks any site, right? And anything that does break any site, like you're going to hear about it. And with Liquid especially, that is like any changes I'm like bringing to him. And so if you deployed Snow Devil, right, the first site 22 years ago, it still runs today, and it's going to run like as long as we're around, and hopefully improve over time. The problem is a lot of people thought that these things already worked, and technically they did work. Technically, it wouldn't error out and show you like a 404 or like a 500 error. What
People
we did
and
was
agents
we had
thought it
this
worked.
lax parser, like relaxed, I guess, but like lax parser. And so if you said, 1 + 1 in curly brackets, it would actually output 1. I said true in my talk, but it's actually 1, I think, because we would see the first thing. It would actually output the variable. If you had to assign 1 equals fun, it would actually output fun. So because it like the curly brackets are a variable sign, and then it would look for the first one, and then the rest of it was like not valid syntax, so it would just discard that. And now, okay, so a lot of people have this stuff. Some of it are typos. Some of it is like they actually intentionally thought it was going to work. It didn't work, but technically it did. And so if we were to support Boolean expressions, all of a sudden you would have a handful of merchants, not even that many, like a small number, but still we can break 0. That's our budget is 0. So you would have some merchants who like, it was rendering like this one day, but all of a sudden this Boolean expression is going to start rendering. And so now it's going to start looking like this. And as a merchant, maybe you don't have access to the code. Maybe you hired a developer and you come on and you see your site and all of a sudden it's different one day and you don't know why. That is like not okay. So what the heck did we do? Well, first we had to make, we actually had 2 parsers. We had a lax parser and a strict parser, but then it turned out our strict parser wasn't strict enough.
Oh.
And so what do? You make a 3rd parser. This is like a XKCD comic joke, I think. But so first we had to make this strict parser that would be like the one to rule them all. And we were like, no more 2 parser nonsense, no more, craziness. Sometimes we'd only support new Liquid features on certain tags because they went through the strict parser. Like that sucks. That's like not good developer experience, not good agent experience. This is awful for everybody. So we made this new parser that I think there was a code name for it, but it doesn't matter. It's like a strict like parser that like follows the rules. If it's documented, it's valid. And we made that work, built that out. So that was one big thing. It's still deploying. And so there's some stuff like Boolean expressions that I don't think can work on our dev preview yet, but will in a few weeks. The next step was we had to very carefully, very safely rewrite every theme to be valid. Now, this wasn't that many because most of them were valid. And we had to first go out to all of our theme store partners and all of our agencies and tell them about this. They went and checked all their code. We got some feedback. We improved it. Then like most of them were like, yep, no problem, no op at all. And then any of the rewriting we would do, we would then like, basically we were able to come up with this like mathematical proof. I felt like I was, back in grade 12 taking calculus or something, but seeing how this thing would provably always work by using our Liquid AST. And we would rewrite your Liquid to show what it looked like had we executed it. And so like that bracket 1 + 1 would actually just turn into a bracket 1. And then we would leave these comments in your code in the liquid in the bottom to say, hey, this thing happened and here's what we changed it to. And if for some reason you still want that, like you can put it back, but no, it's going to do something different now. So we had to do that rewriter, and then we roll out this parser, and then we migrate all the themes over. And now we live in this world where we actually know how liquid's going to work. And so we can we're unblocked now to be able to have Boolean expressions and infix operators, and which are like the parentheses and all the plus signs and minus signs and stuff like that. So you can do math. We can have arrays. We can have hashes. We can whatever warts of liquid that are like the most obvious things, we can fix those. Now the things we won't do are the things that feel like a programming language, or feel like you have to be a programmer to know how to write liquid optimally. That's not what we want to do. So there's like a bit of a balance there with like what is liquid, what's good liquid, what's not. But generally we want it to be that same experience that I had where I just knew HTML and CSS. I open up this file, I read this product in collection.products product title, and I'm like, okay, got it. Like I understand this thing. Sure. So that was the big, a lot of internal work. And it took a lot of buy-in from everybody because it's a huge amount of effort for zero product payoff. But the convincing thing again was like, one, thankfully, craft matters above all else at this company. And when it comes to building products, I guess merchants matter more above craft. But
sure,
best thing works for them.
We knew what you meant.
And then the next level down is like also the why now was agents are already hallucinating this stuff. Mm-hmm. And so you have to start add these agents rules to be like, don't do the thing you think you can do. Math doesn't really work, And so that was a really great convincing argument. And then it also just wiped a ton of tech debt. It simplifies a ton of stuff. Our systems get so much simpler. I don't know how many lines of code we get to delete as a result, but it's way better now. So that was awesome.
Well, thanks for the peek behind the curtain, Ben.
Of course.
And I'd love to stay and chat a lot longer with you, but I have a sense that our time with you is at an end.
I know. I could keep going for hours, so this is great.
Good too. We'll have you back on the show sometime.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Ben.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Well, hey, we're back with another segment of the Liquid Weekly podcast. With us today are three Shopify Build Award winners from here at DotDev 26, and we're excited to talk with them today. So we have with us Sammy and Harel and Emili. Welcome to the show. You guys want to introduce yourselves real quick?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. My name is Emili Honcasso. I'm the co-founder of Zapiet, and I'm super excited today. Obviously, still feeling the vibes of winning the award.
My name is Harel. I'm the CEO of EasyTeam, and grateful to be here.
And I'm Sammy. I've been on your podcast 3 times now.
You're Sammy.
Yeah, that guy. And I build Discount Kit.
Speaking of being on our show multiple times, we'll start with a softball question here. Sammy, I have been told that it's part of winning this award, you get a jacket.
Correct.
You also have not just one, but 2 jackets. Please explain.
Correct. I have nothing to explain.
I'm jealous. Why do I don't have 2 jackets?
Are we not allowed to?
Well, the reason is you won a build. You didn't win a build award, but you won top 25 DFS apps last year, right?
That's right. Yeah, we did. Yeah, very fortunate to win twice.
It's not because you purchased one on the black market or anything.
No.
Created your own. You won it fair and square.
Yes, and I'm not selling the second one either. Yeah.
I was there when you guys were given that award last night, and there were some pretty stern words about the safety of those jackets and their future. Do you take those to heart? Do you have any concerns about losing it on the flight home or having it show up somewhere on Craigslist?
I'm definitely taking care of mine. I'm not going to be the one that going to be called off of like who put your jacket in eBay. I'm going to probably embroider my name on it. So I will make sure that if someone steals it, I will go after it. Yeah, that would be cherished.
So for us, it should have been 2 jackets. And yesterday I took only mine. Bring it here. And I received 1 WhatsApp message and 2 emails from Shopify. Hey, you forgot your jacket. And then we had a breakout session and I brought it. And they brought it right towards me. So the jackets are pretty important to Shopify as well.
Did you check the pockets? I've always wondered if they put anything in there for you.
Can I say something funny about it? So yesterday they ended, I think, giving me the wrong size. And I was like covered in perfume. I was like, right, whoever gets the jacket that I have already tried, you're going to be smelling Prada Paradox. I was like, I hope they like it.
Is that the one that you picked up? I think I got that one.
Yeah. Oh my God. We're bringing home.
That's why your Uber ranking went up yesterday.
That's true. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the thought and the care that went into the different things you guys have worked on that brought you to this point in time. I'm not sure that you were necessarily aiming to win this award, or if this is just part of the hard work that you did Tell us a little bit about your story in terms of bringing your product to the place where it was recognized.
Definitely incredibly shocked. You guys could see in the video, I think I was the comedy token of it. So it was quite funny. I was super, super surprised. But in another hand, I do feel very proud of myself and my entire team. From all the innovative apps that were launched on Shopify, we're always pushing. We're always like trying to go for the next big thing. We have a lot of work and tapping to the higher luxury market lately as well. It was a big thing for us, and it was amazing to see the Shopify recognizer. And when you're just waiting for your parents to give you a tap in the back and then saying like, "Well done, I'm proud of you." I think that felt like it, and that was the vibe. I'm so happy for it.
Yeah, definitely a lot of hard work and dedication. I agree with Emily. We've been in the ecosystem since 2019, and our entire focus since the beginning was betting on retail in the physical world. And we've been. I was thinking like maybe 2 years ago in the first .dev that maybe the physical retail was a thing. Everybody were talking about the omni-channel and uniting the online with the physical store. And we got finally the prize where the AI takes over, right? So that's kind of the opposite thing. So a lot of surprise here, and we are always happy to receive it. So yeah, grateful for it.
Yeah, and I mimic the other two. It was a surprise. We always try and build for Shopify, and so it was really nice to get recognized. We've been building for 6 years, so we've been here a while as well.
So your overnight success only took 6 years.
Yeah, 6 years
on average.
Yeah.
6 years to get a prize, yeah.
11 for us. Oh my God.
Then the average goes up, yeah.
And Carl, Promo Party has a few more years to catch up.
Yeah, we got a few years, yeah.
Oh, I think what everybody's always interested in asking about when there are people who are winning, Build Awards, and being recognized for all their hard work and everything else is what it takes to win an award. So, Sammy, I don't know if you want to start and talk about maybe the things that y'all have focused on and really invested in to set you apart from all the other apps that are floating out there.
That's a tough question. I think with Discount Kit specifically, we kind of focus on 3 pillars. Or we think about it like that. It's expressibility. So can people express very complicated discounts easily? Discoverability. Can merchants actually allow their customers to discover the promotions they're running? And the last one is sort of performance and scalability. And we've taken that very, very seriously. And so, we've spent 6 years optimizing our discount functions to handle carts up to, 500 line items. And so we take a lot of pride in that. And I think that's kind of the key to our success is we really care about building a solid, reliable product. And for discounting specifically, that's important.
So when we went to the App Store initially, there were literally 0 staff management and anything that is related to workforce management application. We said, well, this is the blue ocean. It's a great opportunity to go in. And once we went live, we're a bootstrap company. I was partnered myself. Immediately, a huge enterprise partner came to the App Store, more than 100,000 businesses. And we said, okay, we're done. We're not going to make it. And I think that 2 main things actually made it happen for us to actually succeed when it comes to retail. First one is there are tons of workforce management and staff management when it comes to managing teams. And we said to ourselves, how do exactly we're going to differentiate ourselves from the others, because they are huge and we're small. So the first thing that we did is that we understood that the turnover in retail is incredibly high, which means that the retailers have to constantly train their employees every single day, right? So we gave up our own branding. We basically did not have any brand, right? They had a strong brand outside of Shopify, and they reached out to the ecosystem. We said, okay, we giving up our branding, and we're leveraging Shopify's basically UI and UX within Shopify POS. So if a new business is going on in retail, on boards to the Shopify POS, if he knows how to process a sale, add a new customer, then it means he will know how to clock in, clock out, view the schedules, and basically use all of the native workflows. So that was one thing. And the second thing was that we were 100% focused on retail. So we're not a good solution for restaurants, perhaps. We're not a good solution, for all the other things when it comes to the Shopify integration. But we built things that were basically lack for the other applications like commissions, sales performance, and things like that basically help us to succeed and differentiate ourselves from the other places.
For us at Zapiet, it's a bunch of different things. Of course, 11 years is a long ride. And when you've been around for so long, has always start to seeing opportunities outside of like the normal industries that we are working on. So there's a formula. For us, it's like have a great products, make sure that you're always ahead of the curve, make sure that you integrate it with great solutions to expand to new markets. I was keeping the eye and be very strategic with partnerships and how you actually reaching those. Having strong brand, having a dragon does work. Who knows that? we love them. And then really trying to keep operations in terms of our level of quality of our products very high, very, very exigent. So I think that's kind of our combo formula.
I'll just add for Zapiet, because I know Emili and Andy quite well. They spend a lot of times with retail merchants, at their stores and checking on them that they're having a good experience. So I think, once you get that level of service, you're very loyal,
Yeah.
So I think that's definitely helped.
Well, and y'all opened up your own physical space too, right?
Yes.
That's pretty recent. That's new.
It is. So that's our latest venture. So I think I'm going to bond it up a little bit what Harley said earlier, that I also came from an entrepreneur's family. I think when you come from a family that everyone's like figuring things out around you, that you learn about accountant when you're 9 years old, you understand about logistics and how to separate things, who is a sales rep, what's the, I grew up in this environment. So we are not just excited to do the tech, but be close to the merchants. Like Sammy was saying, like we absolutely love to spend a lot of times with merchants. And every time we came out with different visions, something else to build next. And it does require a lot of time and dedication. Myself and Andy were a bit crazy. And our next venture is it's bringing all of this love that we have between the technology and also this passion for retail that both of us had and both of us grew up with to a physical store. So we bought a building and historic town, like a market town, it has markets since the medieval times. So there's a huge relevancy in terms of retail history. So we wanted something that was truly special and unique, and to reflect our branding, obviously that it's a British company. So, and then we chose a building from the 1700s. So it just took 2 years to renovate the facade. So we finally were able, before we just hop here to Toronto, to see the whole facade renovated, because council permissions you need a historical painter to come and do all the paintings of the facade. And we are really excited about open up for the merchants, because we want to invite the merchants that are they just have online operations to come house pop-ups and try out different types of apps that they might need to operate a physical store or to make future pop-ups. We really want to also contribute to the merchant's journey in terms of experiment first, and after you can invest. And we're going to have a lot of opportunities for different partners to partner with us, so merchants can come in and test their solutions too. So keep the eye for when that happened. Yeah, that's fun.
And when can we come and visit?
You can come to so on Christmas, let's talk about Christmas. We do partner with the Council Research for making an event in the town that's called the Santa Run. And we're going to open the ground floor of the store with the Santa Grotto. And you're going to tell stories about Zapietosaurus. We're going to be launching the book. And come for Christmas. And then you're going to see all that in action. You might run 5K dressed as a Santa to help Council Research. Sounds like a plan?
Any coupon code for the winners, or?
The coupon code is drop me a messaging on LinkedIn and you get a VIP invitation.
Now, Harel, for you, when you started 6 years ago, 2019, I remember those days well because I was at Unite 2019, and the POS was talked about then, but it was still pretty young. So you took a pretty big bet on that platform, and you've seen a lot of changes over there. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So when you take a look at the different POS systems, even on the existing situation today, but obviously 6 to 7 years ago, So Shopify did a really, really smart thing. On the dashboard of the POS, same as the Shopify's admin that we're all familiar with, you could have embed your own solution inside the POS. It was not a thing, okay? So you could have just clicked on a tile. Back in the days, it was called POS links. I don't know if anyone here is aware of. And when you clicked on it, you guys should be aware of it, yeah? When you clicked on it, it took I'm 45 minutes to open up. It was incredible. And the reason that people actually, I didn't know why people adopted our solution when it took like 40 different seconds to actually load. And the reason, because there were not many solutions that were doing it. But Shopify in the last 2 to 3 years, they started to, they changed the approach and understood that the workflows when it comes to retail should be as quick as possible. They created UI extensions, and the UI extensions are probably the best thing in every POS device that we've ever worked with, ever. And we're 100% on Shopify. That was our main focus since then. I think it was one of the smartest product decisions that retail product could have been done as an infrastructure. It was incredible. So
that's cool. And Sammy, you recently have embraced a Sidekick AI extension with your app. Is that correct?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the thought that went into that and how that's shaping your product.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a very new thing that Shopify released. So we kind of were sticking our finger in the air when deciding how to build things. When there's new technology, there aren't patterns. They don't exist. And so I think we rewrote our integration maybe 3 or 4 times before landing on something that we thought was quite clever. And so what we've ended up with is essentially you have sort of a read integration and a write integration or an action integration. The read stuff is kind of simple, give me some statistics about the product that my app does. And the actions are kind of interesting. And so what we've done is we've tried to teach Sidekick the language of Discount Kit. And so we've given it a couple of tools. The first one is essentially our language written in JSON schema with some examples. And then we have an action that validates configuration. And so you can see in the logs, the read and the write, or the read and the action are kind of communicating with each other until it lands on a valid config. And then it pulls it up in what are called admin intents and pre-populates the form. And it's kind of just magic, really, when you see it working. A little bit complicated to get set up, I'll admit, but it feels like magic for real. So the team cooked is the right word, I think. Yeah.
We'd love to see it later on.
Yeah, I can show you. Yeah.
Well, I'll switch around a little bit. So Emili, you're Build Award winner from Community and those sorts of things, and y'all are also crazy busy building apps, helping support merchants and those sorts of things. I know a lot of people that I talk to are also very interested in how do they get involved in community and those other sorts of things. So how do you help foster community, or how do you include the community? Y'all obviously do loads of things, like an incredible epic party every year where you continue to give back to the partner community. So I don't know what you have to say about that for people that are very, very busy building, how they also make sure that they are getting connected, or how that helps them.
I think the best way of answering what it is if you really want to be connected to the community, you need to make time for it. It doesn't need to be too much. It can be just like 5 minutes, where most of us are. Like, I would say, like, I'm very surprised sometimes when I bump to other developers and then they are not on X. So yeah, you need to be on X, probably hang out around LinkedIn, because we're all on the word. So that's the only, sometimes, like I was just saying, like we randomly just drop a message, oh, I'm not, Metafields is bugging today, what's going on? And someone like, yeah, like, and then at Shopify devs, and then someone from the engineering team comes and then just answer it that, yeah, we're having a problem right now, hang tight. I think it's just how we bond together, technical wise, how we feel like to empower each other's business as well. I think it comes a lot from partnerships and wanted to grow. So I kind of like to hang out with people that talk tech. It's really fun. It kind of feels like, it's my family. And I think when enjoying it, you just like want to throw a good party, like the epic party. Why do we do this? Why does it's a welcome party? Because everyone is traveling from so far, from all over the world, to be here together. So then we need to have a memorable moment of a good time and then start the week with a great energy. So, and then doing this all over the world as well, going podcasts. This year, my birthday, I was on Zachary's fashion style skill. So I haven't had birthday celebration this year. But why I did that? Because it was so fun. It was cool. I didn't feel that was like something that was like, oh, I'm sacrificing my time. It wasn't a sacrifice. It was fun. I was like, I want to hang out with people. So I want to have fun. And I think we need to pioneer. We need to push to put people together. So obviously you guys are hearing this, but if you look around this table, I'm the only woman here. So what I want to do is also inspire other women that are in tech to be a little bit more, to have a more powerful voice, to inspire other women as well to be in our space. And for this, you need to look out someone. So, and I'm very excited to try to be this person pushing towards and not just to women, but anybody else that want to public speak or, don't be afraid of embarrass ourselves. So, because if I embarrass myself, I'm going to ask, I'm sorry. And then, I check this information after. It's all good. Nobody's there to judge it.
You inspire us, Emily, as well. So you inspire both men and women. So congrats.
You guys, please don't make me cry here. I already cried everything yesterday.
I always say that every company needs an Emily inside of it. Zapiet is doing a lot, so you know it. We're talking about it a lot. So
this means I'm going to be poached. Well, let's do a playbook, like how to get an Emily, but not Emily in Paris, Emily from Zapiet. No, you guys are too kind.
So I think maybe we have time for one more question for the group, and we'll start with Sammy and work our way down so it's not awkward who's talking next. But winning this award, it's definitely a high. And Taylor, I watched him last year win this award, and it's just been sad to see the downward decline from that high ever since. But I'm helping him. We'll get him there. But for you guys, as you think ahead to the future, like what's next for you? Where do you want to go from here?
Oh, God, thanks. I have had no time to prepare this. I think, obviously, like everyone's been talking about this week is AI. So I think there's a lot of exciting stuff happening in the UCP world. So I'm really excited for Discount Kit to fit into that discoverability slither of the UCP. So we don't know what that looks like yet, to be honest, which is kind of scary, but also exciting. But yeah, I think there's just kind of growing into as the world around us changes. I don't think people need to rush into things. Especially on Shopify. Shopify's taking the lead. And I think just as an example, discounts work out the box and most functions work out of the box with UCP already. So yeah, I'm excited to see where that goes. That's probably the number one thing. And also to come onto the Liquid Weekly podcast for a fourth time, talk about something else.
That would be awesome. Wear your jacket. Harel, how about you?
So our ICP basically when it comes to Shopify integration was exactly the ICP of the Shopify POS. So it's kind of started slow, 1 to 2 locations. Now we're getting into the merchants, the serious merchants with 100 plus locations, right? And we're super excited to see the upmarket trend when it comes to Shopify POS. EasyTeam also works, outside of the POS. We work with the airlines, hotels, and so on. But when it comes to Shopify, we've been starting to support the enterprises really, really well. And we're really excited to see the POS being in a product state to actually support the enterprise. You see more and more logos coming here along with the incredible partners that are developing as the POS develops. And I think in a few months, we'll be able to receive more and more like 200 plus locations, 100 locations, along with the amazing Shopify partners, basically the agencies that are actually tailoring everything together. So we are really, really super excited to support any single merchants, whether they have like 5, 1 location, 2 locations to the 100. So we're looking forward to that.
Right, I guess I'm the wrap. So what's next for us? I think next for us is we are really engaged on commerce in general, like physical stores and everything that's happening on that side. That's a lot of new capabilities that was going to happen now, like with the ship split that was just released. So I'm very excited to get our heads into it and see what we can add that in terms of our products. I think it was something that's being very highly required from our merchants as well. They want to do one order, but they want to send, a t-shirt to a granny, another one to their house. So I think that's a lot to explore in the end. Catalog as well we're going to be looking at building a lot of fun. We already been ahead a lot of fun. So if you guys went to the epicparty.dev, you could see that we pieced together that in a website, a great example using catalog API. So that was fun. And then just trying to carry on discovering on the space with the restaurants now with our latest products with Zapiet Eats. We're very proud to say that we had already the entire chain of Wendy's in the Philippines coming to Shopify because of Zapiet Eats. And we are onboarding now a chain of bakeries in Europe, and we have a bunch of more connections with different agencies where you're going to be implementing this product. It's close to our heart, so we did a lot of work with Shopify engineering side to kind of develop a lot of capabilities that didn't exist in the platform. I'm happy to say that we are pioneering on that sector of how complete our product is for on-demand ordering. And it's just a dream to see like it's coming true. We were kind of expecting that the first merchants on board it would be like small merchants, and we having this sweet surprise of the chains coming. And we are thrilled, and I can't wait to see where it goes. Very excited.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for being with us, Sammy, Harel, Emily. We wish you guys all the best success, and we'll see you hopefully back at the next .dev.
Thank you so
Ciao,
much.
ciao. Thank you.
Thank you.